fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse, I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kiru's show here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Izuku Midoriya, and well, him and Celine went undercover at a tech expose, and they had to find a target that the Lycan are currently going after, Melissa's shield. Now, and the ensuing chaos when the Lycan did show up and begin to try to attack, Melissa did go running off. Her running into a Lycan as it did bite her. Now, this was quite bad, as she is now infected. Now, Midoriya and Celine would get back to the van, and take Melissa back to the convent, where, after they do get her properly treated at the medical bay, or the infirmary they have in the convent, they actually do get her sedated, so as to allow her to, well, fight the infection quietly. Now, this is all quite good, and it's already been over the 1 hour period. If she were to die, she would have done so already. Now, there is also something going on with Midoriya. He does have a strange idea, and he's actually thought about it with Celine, asking her if she believes it to be possible. And the answer she would give would be no. Now, Midoriya thought that he could bite Melissa and have her turn into whatever he is. And, in reality, she thought it wasn't possible. With how aggressive the Lycan and vampire genomes are already on their own, being bit by one and dying within an hour, Celine thinks that there's a chance for instant death. And Midoriya, yeah. Hearing that enough, he's not ready to take the chance. And he does want to at least allow her to try and survive. And this is the best chance he really does have. Now, there would be the next morning, where Melissa, she's been out for almost about 7 hours. And she actually would ask what's going on. Whenever she does wake up, and there is a blonde girl in the room. Hi. Hello. Where am I? Oh, okay. That's very complicated, actually. What happened? All I remember is working in a strange sky. Oh yeah, you got attacked. I was attacked? Am I in a hospital? Oh no. Just lay back down. You're gonna need your strength. Okay. I don't understand it. Now, Toga actually does go to walk out of the room, as she does actually inform somebody to tell Izuku she's awake. Now, the person does actually go to walk towards the front door, as they would walk outside and scream, "Boss!" Roya turning his head as him and Celine, they are watching the sun still come up, and he is enjoying his morning. Now, this would be whenever he does actually go to stand up and quickly moves. The person almost being knocked over by Midoriya, as he's immediately right in front of Toga. Now, Toga does actually just take a step backwards, as she'd flinch. Ah, I don't get used to that. Midoriya then turning and walking into the room, as Melissa does see him. He's wearing black pants and, well, a shirt. So, you're awake. Who are you? I'm the guy in charge here. In charge? You're the ones that kidnapped me? Kidnapped you? Oh, no, no. We're the ones who saved you, actually. What? Yes. Now, it's also a bit more complicated than you know. Listen, that bite wound on your neck. This? Yeah, some asshole with a wolf quirk. No, not a quirk. Listen, you're a scientist, right? Yeah, somewhat. I have a basic understanding of diseases and biology. Okay, good, good. Then you'll understand what I'm about to say next. You were bitten with a disease. The guy who had it can turn into a werewolf. And tonight you're going to turn into a werewolf. After that, you're going to need to learn how to control that. Here's something we call a second generation lichen. Midoriya giving her a rundown on it. Melissa looking at her confused. Or looking at him confused. As she does then ask about what he is then. Is he a werewolf? Oh no, no, no. I'm something different. I'm both. Both? Yes. I'm a werewolf and a vampire. Rolled into one. Oh my god, you're joking. That was pretty funny. I'm not joking. I don't understand though. Yeah, I didn't understand it at first either. I've been running for it my whole life, but just know this. You're about to become immortal. You're about to become a werewolf. You're about to get dragged into a war that's been raging for the better part of 1500 fucking years. Huh? Wait, you're 1500 years old? God, no. Jeez, if I lived for that long, I'd put a bullet in my head. I'm actually 20 years old, or 21 in a few weeks. Anyways, listen, I got bit whenever I was 15. Now that my body's closing in on my prime or my top physical condition, I'm not going to age past my birthday. However, for you, yeah, you're going to stop aging right where you are. Huh? That doesn't make sense. Werewolves aren't immortal. Yeah, not in the stories you know. Besides, you'll see tonight. Now, Melissa, yeah, she does not believe any of this shit. However, Midoriya does just have her test her own blood under a microscope, test his blood, and then test Toga's and Celine's. And she does find a lot of inconsistencies. Even similar ones within everyone's, except for Midoriya's. Hers and his are somewhat similar. However, you can attribute that to the lichen disease. Now, with that being said, we do actually cut over to Bakugo Katsuki, who he is still piecing together his case. With everything going on, this has all been strange. And he's been doing a little bit of backtracking. Now, he's even talked to his mother, who, after asking her about Izuku Midoriya, she was confused hearing that name. Talking about how she gave a call to somebody a few years back. She thought that Inko was arrested. And, well, Bakugo would look into this incident. and it did have her listed under several names. However, as to why she needed those names was a big mystery. Now, Bakugo did want to know this, and he even was able to find the town they were living in. One of her names was listed as Corvin, and Bakugo did make his way to that place. Now, the trip would take a bit of time, and he would have gotten there, as he would have asked around, trying to piece it together. And whenever he does learn about Michael Corvin, he does ask about that guy. A lot of people talking about how he was a very well dressed young man who worked on a fishing boat. However, one day the boat departed and never came back. In fact, they heard that Michael, he was put in the hospital. And that, well, he was killed in the explosion. Now, hearing that, Michael Corvin, killed in an explosion, and his mother was arrested. What is going on? This doesn't make sense. However, these are important to my case. I should keep digging. Now, Bakugo, he would ask as many people around as he could. And he would even find their old house. As he would walk in. After Inko left one day and never came back, the people who lived there, or at least did rent it out to Inko, they did actually pack up her stuff and move it, since they expected her to come back for it one day and they could work things out from there. They felt bad for having to kick her out, but yeah. She was gone for about 8 months, and the space was not being used. Now, the person who did this was a very kind old lady. As whenever Bakugo went asking around for Michael Corvin and the woman's name, or something Corvin, I forgot Inko's fake name here, she would have talked to him and asked if he's looking into her, or if he's a family friend. Now, Bakugo would state yes, he is actually, and that he wants to look around. He came here to pick some stuff up. Now, the old lady, she does trust Bakugo, since officially he is a pro hero. So, he's also a very well known one at that. So, he's trustworthy. At least in her eyes, he's a very kind person. Ironically. Now, this would be where she actually would walk into a room and talk about how she put everything that she could in here. The space has been used since, well, her husband got hurt in that fishing trip. Now, Bakugo would actually say thank you, and she would leave him to go dig around. Now, within this amount of time, Bakugo would go through everything, and even find an old picture. Now, this old picture, it does show Hasashi Midoriya and Izuku as a little boy with green hair. Now, this is enough evidence he does need. This is Izuku Midoriya, and he is actually alive. Now, Bakugo does actually find an old box, and he does open it. The box isn't very large, and it does seem to be a little bit thicker on the inside. Bakugo actually going to pull out the photos inside. As he does look through them, Midori and his mother. And as you do go through the photos more, Midori does gradually get older. And his expression goes from more childlike wonder to more of a serious tone. And there's even actually one picture where Inko was teaching him how to drive. Now, Bakugo actually would go to set these things down, as he does go to turn and move, accidentally kicking the chair, as it would fall over and this container of photos does smash onto the ground. The moment it does, board inside of the box does fall out. Now, Bakugo, he does actually walk over and go to pick it up, as he does see, whenever he does reach his hand into this area, he's able to pull it up, and there's a container of information there. Now, Bakugo does see photos and hard drives, and this is the evidence he does need of vampires and lichen existing. Now, Bakugo would take this evidence. He doesn't know what's on these, and if he's correct, it could be why Midori is the way he is now. Now, Bakugo would then leave, after he's at least 90% sure that this is it. Now then, back over with Midoriya. It is currently very, very late at night, and you do have Melissa, who she is getting glimpses and the sweats, along with the way her eyes are darting around, as she does ask a few questions about it all, wanting to know about everything, and about why Izuku is actually being so, merciful, if he's supposed to be killing werewolves. Roy explained that since he's both, he wants to end the war, and that right now, that is a challenge he's been trying to do for a long time. Now, Melissa doesn't know too much, but she would know enough, as whenever she does look up, she does see the full moon, and she actually does begin to change. Now, Melissa, she does actually go to fall on her back, and she does look at her hands, watching as her skin and, arms are growing hair, and they're actually elongating her fingers. Now, this would be whenever she actually does begin to start tearing away at her own clothing, as she just grows larger and larger. And we do have Midoriya, who, after turning himself, he does actually scream at Melissa, and she does go to try and rush and attack him. Midoriya just quickly taking her down, and subduing her, as he basically would knock her out, after her first transformation. Now, Celine is asking him exactly why not just kill her, as he wants to somewhat try something. He wants to use her as leverage against the Lycan, and if they can, then they can actually gain an ally in her. If it's known that a Lycan is working with vampires, a lot of people might actually join their cause. And then there's also the fact that they can use her against Marcus. Now, this would be whenever we do actually cut over to a group of Lycan. The people they've abducted, there are at least 20 of them, and only 5 of them were able to survive the first hour. And 4 of them did ultimately survive to turn into Lycan. As, with the night of the full moon, they are allowed to hunt with their pack. And, ultimately, they would begin helping. As we do cut up to about, let's say, around a month later, where Melissa, she has been training to try and understand her ability. And to actually try and transform at will. There have been times where she's felt it and, well, tried to force it, but it didn't just happen. And Midoriya, he was actually able to somewhat guide her. Along with the vampires, basically telling her that it's like a reflex. Just focus on your rage and you should be able to transform. Now, Melissa, she does actually focus on what happened. Back in her past, she was angered with it, angry with her father, and angry that he created a device that fell into the hands of a villain. But she was grateful at the same time. She was able to help people with her inventions. She was able to do things that no normal person could do. And she does just somewhat snap. Think about something. Now, she does actually start to worry, as she would fully transform. And she does just run up to Midoriya. Midoriya actually just bring up his hand and put it in front of her, as she does just stare at him and begin to de-transform. Now, Midoriya and her do both begin a plan. Midoriya telling her that she needs to start working on these things, and to make light grenades, since the only 4 in the coven that can do that are currently them, and that she's weak to silver. Keep that in mind. Now, Melissa, she is annoyed hearing that. However, at the same time, she does actually understand Midoriya's cause. She's had to feed before, and she thought that she would have to murder people. However, with them having blood packs supplied by hospitals, that was somewhat able to keep her occupied. And the first time she was going to kill somebody, she actually didn't do it. It was Midoriya who did it for her. Sure, sure, she did bite them, but Midoriya was the one who ended their life in an instant. And she still was disgusted by it all. It took her time to try to adjust, and it's still taking her more time. As we do actually cut to Midoriya's room, where he is just sitting next to a nightstand on his bed. And he actually would set down his phone and set down his firearm, being to just think about everything. Now, he is just wondering about it. The coven that Marcus is staying in. Let's see. What we could do to attack it. Huh. Let's figure this all out. Now, Midoriya does begin to scheme, as Celine does actually walk into his room. Midoriya actually turning his head and seeing her, asking exactly what is she doing here. Now, Celine does go to sit down next to Midoriya, and ask him if he's alright. Yeah, I am. Why? You haven't slept in 3 days. I'm aware. I need to focus. Get things back on track. Izuku, you do have a bed. You do have allies. And you've even granted a death dealer the ability to walk in the day. With this gift, people are starting to trust you now. In fact, even your guards. Well, they were actually hesitant to let me in here. I know. But Celine, you don't understand. this all needs to end now. I'm so tired. I'm tired of being whatever this is. What does say? Celine just telling him that it's quite alright. Yeah. However, I'm annoyed at the humans. I feel like we would have gotten a lot more progress done if they didn't show up. We have one Lycan. That's it. And even then, she's a brilliant scientist. And, well, a good weaponsmith. But the plan for the Covenant. I somewhat have an idea. Now, Celine, she actually does just do one thing. She does tell Midori to shush. And that he does need to sleep. Her actually bring her hand up to Midori's lip. As Midori would just grab her by her wrist and tell her that if she's trying to be flirty, then it's not going to work. Flirty? No. I'm not trying to. In fact, I am curious, however. Your, well, performance back then, a month ago. You seem to be a bit more genuine. Oh, so now you're trying to flip my words on me. No. I'm just saying. Now, she does give somewhat of a cheeky smile. Roy actually going to look at her. As he actually does turn his body towards her, asking her if she really thinks it's a good idea to try and challenge him. Oh, a challenge, is that what you see this as? Somewhat. A bit of business, you could say, but also something else. Something else. Am I wrong? Now, Celine herself does scoot towards him, talking about how he's not wrong. However, she does want him to explain. Now, let us cut to outside the room, where there are two guards stationed there with weapons. As all of a sudden there is a loud thud at the door, and the two do try to knock. However, it's followed by a noise, and the two quickly do walk away. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. We'll catch you guys in the next part.